Good morning. Welcome back. I wish you guys could see what I see from here because between me and the camera are some soft, flexible objects, i.e. like a couple blankets, part of a futon couch. And what I see are kittens popping their heads up on the other side of the couch between the camera and here. So there's a lot of cuteness going on here. Now let me set this aside. Oop, sorry for the noise on that. So for our practice today, I'd like to pick up a continuation of yesterday's practice where I was talking about one of my teachers. I had been so fortunate to go to graduate school at Lesley College next to Harvard University, and Harvard kept hosting all these teachers from around the world for meditation, mindfulness, consciousness, and so on. So I got to meet people like Jack Kornfield and Joseph Goldstein and Thich Nhat Hanh and the nuns from Plum Village. Those teachers coming from abroad or from other parts of this country would often present at Harvard and then go to IMS, the Insight Meditation Society, which is about 3 hours from Boston, if I'm remembering that correctly. And I also got to go out to IMS because they had a wonderful scholarship program for students who didn't have very much financial means. And they would give scholarships for lodging, and the courses were based on donation. So I got to study with people within my financial capacity to do so. And one of those people was Thich Nhat Hanh. So yesterday I mentioned that he had passed, and we did a practice based on really the inherent qualities of mindfulness that he was teaching, what he called the 5 mindfulness trainings. So I'd like to pick up from that class yesterday for this class today. And thanks for being here. You can rest your hands in your lap and feel free to close your eyes. It's also okay to take off your glasses since you don't need to see me. Your attention, start sifting out what is not relevant and bringing in what is relevant for your yoga practice. Find yourself arriving, let your attention come down into the present, noticing, as Thai would say, present moment, wonderful moment. Even if your present moment includes things that you have mild to medium aversion to, or it's not your most ideal present moment, we can still come to the present moment with an attitude of present moment, wonderful moment, because it is a moment in which we are practicing and we're becoming present. Even if you have a toothache or your neighbor's using a lawnmower, even if the laundry is undone and wrinkled in the washing machine, even if you are facing deadlines that seem overwhelming, just right now we say, present moment, wonderful moment. You might strengthen your ability to be here by using the breath with that phrase. So it could be breathing in, present moment. Breathing out, wonderful moment. further support that. So sometimes we are present enough, we have enough clarity that we go right to the Manomaya Kosha and Vijnanamaya Kosha. Present moment, wonderful moment. Other times we need a little bit more traction, so we add the breath. And at times having a bit more traction with the body being there also can strengthen our experience. So if you are going to add the body in, what we can do is join the palms at the heart. And when you inhale, you raise the hands up like an arrow, saying present moment. And then we exhale, open the arms wide, breathing out, wonderful moment. Raise the arms, breathing in, present moment. And then breathing out, wonderful moment. Bring your hands to your heart. Again, breathing in, present moment. Breathing out, wonderful moment. Whatever the moment is, you happen to be here. So breathing in, raise the arms, present moment. And then hands to the heart, breathing out, wonderful moment. We'll do that one more time. As you come back to the heart, go ahead and keep your hands there. And we'll chant Sahana Vavatu. Okay, let's begin. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Saviryam Karavavai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Ma Vidveshavai. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Saviryam Karavai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Ma Vidveshavai. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Saviryam Karavai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Ma Vidveshavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands and open your eyes. So when I was sharing yesterday that there are 5 mindfulness teachings from Thich Nhat Hanh, the first one is like our first precept in yoga. We call it ahimsa, means non-harming and non-violence. And as it's stated in Buddhism, the precept is a vow to not causing harm. And he expands on that to say, protecting all creatures, protecting all beings, and preventing harm and violence. So not only not causing harm, but also protecting that which needs protection. And the second principle that we came to, where it's lined up between his 5 mindfulness teachings and the yamas and niyamas, is called Asteya, which means not stealing. And so he translated that as generosity and not stealing, not taking that which hasn't been given to you, but also having a practice of generosity or contribution. And the third is we call satya, which is truthfulness in our speech and to the best of our ability to be in integrity with truth in action, truth with our words, and truth coming from within, also being notifying ourselves of what is true. And then he translates that as, in Buddhism, it's right use of speech. So speaking truthfully, speaking clearly, but also, as I said in our class last week, considering the timing of the recipient to hear this truth and considering the relational safety between us for that truth to be spoken. If things are escalated, you're speaking truth into a fan that might be blowing back at you. It may not get into the other person, in other words. And so Tai translated those as protecting all species and resisting the causes of harm and violence, generosity and non-stealing, and gentleness with the voice, but also using your voice to speak clearly. And as well, we can extrapolate, that means not gossiping, not spreading rumors, not lying, not practicing the absence of truth telling, we would say. Okay, so today I'm going to focus on Asteya, which means non-stealing, and I'm going to borrow his additional translation there, which is generosity. Generosity. And yesterday I said, and so today here's your invitation to let yourself be here fully. It's like an act of generosity to yourself. Don't let the mind steal you away, or life, or other doodads, or sparkly objects. So to be here, be generous with yourself in providing this full opportunity. And so that means you have to chaperone the mind that goes to the shiny objects or the doodads or the past and the future, and keep it coming in, Asteya, not stealing this opportunity from yourself. Okay, so that being said, now I'd like us to come over to kneeling, to Vajrasana. And it's okay to sit in Vajrasana on a block or two. It's also okay to sit on a chair if you just have the legs parallel in front of you for now. Interlace your fingers, push the heels of the hands straight down. Okay, inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Exhale, bring your hands down behind your head, turn the palms face down, pinkies at the base of the skull. Inhale, elbows forward and lift up, look up. Exhale, level the head, draw the front ribs in so you're vertical, and inhale, twist to your right. Exhale to center, elbows wide. Inhale, twist left, bring the right elbow forward, left elbow up. Exhale to center, elbows wide. Inhale, press up and look up. And exhale, arms wide and bow forward, come down to Child's Pose, or a variation on Child's Pose. And let yourself deeply relax. Invite yourself to be here fully, even generously, so the body can bring its full self, the heart can bring its full self, your attention can be here completely. Rise up to sitting. So we're going to add to the sequence now. So interlace the fingers, raise up overhead, and also look up, please, and follow the pace of your breath. Exhale, bring your gaze down, place your hands behind your head. Inhale, both elbows forward, lift up, look up. Exhale, level your head, elbows wide. Bring the front ribs in, and then inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, rotate back to center. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, glide back to center. Inhale, press up and look up. Now exhale, push out, and as you bring the hands down behind you, turn your fingers towards your toes. Lower the heels of the hands if possible. Raise your chest, your heart, squeeze the shoulders back. Open the throat. And then exhale, curl your chin in and fold forward into child's pose. Release any and all distractions. And then rise back to center, back to kneeling, last time through. So inhale, raise up. We're going to add to the sequence again. Try to pace the movements with your breathing. Exhale, bring the fullness of your attention and the absence of judgment. Inhale, both elbows forward and raise up. Exhale, elbows wide, floating ribs in. Inhale, twist right. Exhale, center with complete mindfulness. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. Inhale, press up and look up. Exhale, sweep the arms wide. You're going to place the hands behind you. Fingers point forward. Roll the shoulders back. Lift up, look up. And now exhale and slide your hands just in front of your knees. Bring your forehead down like child's pose. And then inhale, roll up to the top of your head. And exhale, touch your hips down to your heels, child's pose. Welcome yourself to arrive here completely. And walk your hands back and your knees can stay where they are. Bring your torso upright. Now we've been having the knees in flexion for some time. So put your blankets aside and lie on your back, stretch the legs out. And give attention to just how you're going to notice that the legs will slowly warm themselves up. So the circulation, in other words, is going to be going back down the legs to your feet and your toes. But don't steal this opportunity from yourself to notice something simple and subtle. But it's also, you're witnessing being cared for by your body right now. This body intelligence is like caring for your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees. And then take the arms out into a T shape. Lift your knees up to your chest. And when you're in the center here, knees and nose are centered. And we're going to be inhaling. When we exhale, we'll go down to one side and then the other. Let's use the exhale to come down to the left first. Rotate your nose to the right. Then inhale, return to center. And exhale, knees down to your right, nose to your left. Inhale to center. And exhale to your left. Now, we tend to notice the sensations in the body that are most kind of compelling or dynamic. And I'm going to ask you to continue this practice for several more breath cycles, but to see if you could put your awareness on the back of your body, particularly the back of your trunk. And notice when you're returning to center, the sensations of the body, the torso returning to center. Notice when your legs are going to one side, how the back body experiences the absence of the floor rolling over to the side. And then the back body experiences returning to the floor. See if you can put your attention there as a place for novelty in mindfulness. Novelty means that you're not doing something that's really familiar or routinized. Let's do it for a few more breath cycles. When your knees go down to your right, you notice the left sideways, the left side of the torso, the left side of the spine, they all pick up. And more pressures on the right side waist. And when you're returning, it's right side waist, right back, right mid back, the spine, left next to the spine, roll over with your knees and notice the transition one more time in each direction. Give it your full concentration. Give yourself the greatest possibility or potential in being here. And then touch your feet down. And keep your attention at the back of your body. So you're noticing now, how does the circulation or your body temperature, or even the sensations, how are those things changing? Your complete attention to the back body for a few more moments. You might even feel your heartbeat or your pulsation in the back body. And then please roll to your side. And let's come up to table pose. Let me put my blankets aside here. And the mouse. Okay, table pose. Face towards the top of your mat, please. And then from table pose, step your right foot out to the side. Place your right foot so it points forward. Okay, on the inhale, raise your right arm and twist to your right. And when you exhale, come down and keep the left arm straight, left shoulder stable. Let the rib cage kind of drop down from the left shoulder blade. And then inhale to open again. And exhale to come down. Inhale to open and place your mind in how the back body, the back of the torso, is experiencing the movement. So as you exhale to come down, you might even notice the right rib cage, the spine, the left rib cage as you drop down. And then inhale, notice the left side waist, the spine, right side torso, and up. Let's do that one more time. Exhale to come down. And then place your right hand back in table pose. Step your right knee in and step the left foot out. Bring your full concentration back. So mindfulness is really the experience of attention, complete attention without judgment, paying attention on purpose with the absence of narrative or judgment. Inhale to your left. Exhale, come down with your attention on the back body. So of course, we tend to notice other more dynamic sensations. Choose a consistent part of the body this morning and see how that influences the consistency of your mind, the continuity of your attention. Twice more, please. And last one. Place your left hand down, table pose. Bring the left knee in, table pose. Reach back to child's pose. Place something under your head if you need to. And of course, you can modify for your ankles or your knees. Let's see if you can have a sense of coming home to the present. Present moment, wonderful moment. Place your hands on your knees, rise up to kneeling. In the spirit of not letting yourself dissipate your opportunity, not letting yourself sort of miss out like you've been in class, but your mind wasn't here. Your body was here, but your mind was elsewhere. In the spirit of that which we call Asteya, we're going to repeat the same kind of action that we were just doing, but change the leg position. So please step your right foot forward. And go ahead and place blocks under your hands, because for lots of us, that means it's easier to put the hands on the floor. So accommodating your right leg or the chest or torso or a hip joint or a knee joint. And then as you inhale, twist to your right. And exhale, come down. Reach your right hand over the left hand. Inhale, open. Make the left arm strong. And exhale, come down, and the right hand can pass the left hand to the outside of the block. Inhale, notice the back hemisphere of your body. And exhale, lower down. And one more time, inhale. Make the left arm strong. And as you exhale, notice how your back body makes the transition in this twist. Place your right hand back on its block. Tuck the left toes under and straighten your left leg. So when I'm bringing the left hand down across, it's like this to the outside of the block, like that. You can't see it that well, so I'm just showing you there. Okay, let's keep the hips level. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, down and cross your right hand to the outside of the block. Keep the left arm strong. Inhale, open. Sense the back of your body as you're coming down. And once more, inhale to open. And exhale, lower down, bringing your right hand over your left hand. And then place your right hand on its block and step backwards to downward dog pose. So see if you might notice the differences in your body right to left. And then left foot forward, please. Let's touch the right knee down. Bring your mind back into the present. Keeping the right arm strong, we're going to inhale, open to the left. And then exhale and come across. Inhale to open. Exhale across. And think about like you're squeezing a sponge. Squeeze the front belly. Inhale, notice the back body as you open. Keep the right arm strong. And exhale, come across. Last one. Curl the right toes under. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Okay, and now inhale, open to your left. And exhale. Breathe in, present moment. And breathe out, wonderful moment. Twice more. And as you come down, cross your left hand past your right. And then place your left hand and step backward, downward dog pose. Roll forward, plank pose. Touch the knees down, and this time sit back to Vajrasana. Just sit back to kneeling. And feel under the back hemisphere of your body, right? So bring your awareness to the back body where we've been putting some attention. Let's imagine that in that back body, it lies parts of our past, but even more important for this morning, it's our connection to the lineage or the tradition that stands behind us. You could sense all of these practitioners and teachers who've come before you. And as they walked the path, they sustained that path. And then we found our footsteps on that path. Some of those teachers are no longer here in the body, like Thich Nhat Hanh. But we're going to keep walking the path. That means that we bring them with us. We continue the conveyance of their teachings to the best of our abilities. Please come up to standing. Come on up to mountain pose. We're going to use a wall spot in a moment, which I'm going to use a door frame, and you can use a door frame. And I'll use the door frame. You can use a door frame. You can use the refrigerator. You can use the car or the park bench. You can use anything. But I'll tend to say the wall or the door frame. So I'll turn to face that way when I do it, but when you take your arm out, you're going to be facing the wall. The hand will be facing, and I'm going to ask you to set the shoulder back so that when we turn into the pose, you're not turning by bringing your shoulder forward. That's going to stay back like that. Okay, so turn to face a wall spot or a door frame, and let's put the right hand up first. And then just gently press your hand a little forward into that surface, so you're securing the shoulder to stay back. Then turn your feet, your shins, your knees. Turn the pelvis, lower belly, mid belly, your heart. Roll your right shoulder back and put your awareness into the back body, the back hemisphere of the torso especially. You may place your left hand up on the wall or the car or the refrigerator and help with a little pressure into your left hand. You can secure the twist to your left for more stability. In this process, you can imagine that the back of the heart is a place that we can access that sense of being held by the traditions, even held by the teachers and the practitioners who came before us. Exhale, turn towards the wall. And once you rotate back, let your right arm dangle down and pause to notice the circulation going down your arm, just like we did with the legs. Give yourself the fullness of attention to notice that. Right now, your body intelligence is taking care of you. Place your left hand up on the wall or the door frame. And turn your feet, your shins and knees, the hips, the thighs, lower belly, mid belly, chest and heart. And as you're turning, you might choose to place your right hand gently up for support, but keep the left shoulder rolled back. The right hand is optional, so that is always your decision. As you feel the sensations of the left upper chest and shoulder in the stretch, acknowledge them, but put your mind into the back body. Again, where you can sense the path that was here before you were, the teachers who came before you, who are generously giving the teachings freely available to you. Teachings can be integrated into your life, and then we want that to go forward from our hearts and our speech and our actions. So with an exhale, then rotate to face back towards the wall. Lower your left arm down. And again, give yourself the fullness of the opportunity to just notice that your left arm is going to recirculate and that you're being cared for right at this very moment. So now we're going to pick up a practice from yesterday where we were doing Trikonasana, triangle pose. And I had asked you only once or twice yesterday to bring the top arm down like an elephant trunk to let it relax. We're going to actually reach past the bottom hand and then up again to triangle pose. To make this meaningful for your thoracic spine, which is really what I'm addressing, is your thoracic spine. We actually want the pelvis and the lumbar spine to be pretty stable for this. So to make it meaningful, we're going to use 2 blocks and we'll place them on that tall option like this. You could put this flat or medium and then make the other one tall like that. And I'm not that tall, so when I say put your blocks on a tall setting, they're extra tall for me. Okay, so let's turn the right foot to the right, take the left heel out to the side. The blocks are on the inside of the ankle right now. We will experiment with putting them on the outside. But first, we're going to do this particular action. So when we come down to triangle pose, you're going to hear me say to let the top arm, in this case, that'll be my left arm, which is actually my right arm, but it's going to be my left for you. You're going to hear me say, let it dangle like an elephant trunk. And I want you to let it be heavy and to release tension between the shoulder blades. But then we will be opening that again, like a sail on a ship, for example. Okay, so let's sweep the arms wide. And exhale, tone the lower belly and root into both feet. Let's inhale, bring the right hand down, open your left arm to the sky. And exhale, lower your left arm, keep the right arm strong. So the left shoulder blade might drop lower than the right shoulder blade for a moment here. And then inhale, root your tailbone and open. And exhale, bring the left arm down, keep the right arm strong. Inhale to open. Strengthen both legs, but especially be aware of your right leg when you're opening. Exhale, come down. Keep the left leg firm, left outer hip stable. So the left hip is not coming down towards the floor with these rotations. Inhale to open, the rotation is in the heart. And exhale, one more time to come down. And then inhale to open. And exhale, rise up to standing. Tone your left low belly and your left leg to come up. Relax both arms. Okay, let's put the blocks on the outside now. You can build your little construction zone, put them behind your ankle. This lends us a little bit more to that feeling of a sail on a ship because the hand is going to be behind us. Okay, sweep the arms wide, breathe in. Exhale, tone from your center down into your feet. Inhale. Now exhale, bring the left hand down and try to cross it over the right. Then inhale to open slowly. Press into the strength of your right arm. And exhale to come down. And as you get the mechanics worked out, then return your awareness to the back hemisphere of the body. Inhale, open, keeping both legs stable. Set the sail on the ship. And exhale down again. Notice the back body right here. And last one to open. Rise up with your inhale. And exhale, root from your left hip to your left heel, rise up. And release both arms. Make the feet parallel. You can do heel toe, or you can step in big like I was just doing. And when you come up to standing, my guess is that you're going to feel a little bit like a zigzag, but not just your clothing, but your body. If you might be able to feel from your right hand, right arm, right shoulder, a sash across the back body, left outer hip, left hamstring down to the left foot. I'm sorry, left hand, left arm, left shoulder, back sash, right hip, right leg, right foot. Okay, let's do the other side. So for some students in this class, they are also students in our 3-hour yoga teacher training. And we have a concept that we draw from, it's Andrew Blooming's work on the slings of the body, the contralateral slings. And so that was just a pointer to that for people who've taken that course or who will be taking that part of that course coming up here. And sorry, I got it backwards the first time. Let's put the hands to the heart. Root into your right outer hip, right outer heel. Inhale, take the arms wide. Remember the back body, the tradition that stands behind you. Inhale, come down to triangle pose. And then exhale, bring your right arm down like the elephant trunk and reach it past your left arm. Do your best to keep the right hip stable. So inhale to open, and it should not feel like you have to rotate your pelvis back to the position. Exhale, come down. So it's your head, your shoulders, your upper back, your heart. Inhale to open. So one way I sometimes talk about Asteya or non-stealing is like this. When you come down with your right arm, don't steal from your right hip, accept the mobility that you have in the upper back without the right hip dropping forward. So we don't steal from other parts of the body, even in the yoga poses. Coming down, keep the left arm strong so we don't steal from the left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist. We're just finding out what the upper back can actually do. One more time, open with your inhale, energize your left leg. And then exhale, rise up. Relax the arms down, and let's put the little construction setup behind. Okay. Inhale, sweep the arms wide. Exhale, tone from your right pelvis to your right heel. And then inhale and come over to triangle pose. Okay, with your exhale, bring the right arm down, and again, keep the right hip stable. Reach your right hand across where it can. Inhale to open, like setting a sail on a ship. Exhale, keep the legs toned, so each movement is at the pace of your breath, of course, not mine. Inhale, present moment. And exhale, wonderful moment. Once more, inhale. And exhale, rise up to standing. Release your arms and step the feet to center. Heel toe is an option. Also step is an option. And when you come to stand, now notice right hand, right arm, right shoulder, a sash across the back, left butt, left hamstring down to your left foot. So the concept there is called the posterior contralateral sling. That's what I'm referencing from their training. It's posterior and it's contralateral. It's bilateral, contralateral, and it's considered a sling. It's a way of naming that there's a sash of sorts. So that's with our right arm, right shoulder, right upper back, left lower back, left glutes, left hamstring, left heel, like that. Okay, please take your blocks and come down to the floor. We're going to look at the pose called Cobra Pose, also called Bujangasana in Sanskrit. So place 2 blocks at the front of your yoga mat. And then bend the elbows, come down onto your stomach. So you're going to look like a grasshopper. Your elbows are going to look like a grasshopper. Okay, point the toes behind you, press down with the tops of the feet. Lengthen your tailbone down. Lengthen the lower back. And as you next inhale, lift the base of your skull and raise your head until you're able to look slightly forward. Now exhale, squeeze the shoulders back, which means up towards the ceiling. And you've got your triceps engaged, the legs engaged. Draw the heart forward and start rolling up. And then exhale and glide down slowly. Keep the shoulders pressing back. The collarbones are wide. And then bow your head to the floor. Now legs engaged, tone the tailbone, lengthen the spine. Inhale, raise the shoulders back and lift the base of your skull until your head gazes slightly forward. Now we're going to bring in the arms, so press into the blocks, raise the heart forward and up. And exhale, glide down. Keep the shoulders back, and as you come to the place where you then bow the head, release the back of your neck. Once more, same thing. Energize the legs. Lift the shoulders back. From the base of your skull, raise your head until you're gazing slightly forward. Now inhale, rise up, Cobra. And exhale, glide down. Let the head bow to the floor. Put the blocks aside. Lower the arms, palms face up next to your hips, and turn your head to your right. Bring your head to center. Place the palms flat under your hands, so closer to the floor. Okay, bow your head down. Energize the legs. Lengthen your tailbone. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ceiling. And then inhale to raise the base of your skull until you're looking gently forward. And exhale, add the strength of your arms and hands. Remember the back body, the tradition that you get to walk on those footsteps. The path came before you, and it goes forth from you also. And with your exhale, glide down, keeping the shoulders back, and bow your head at the appropriate moment there. Energize the legs, lengthen your tailbone. With your inhale, shoulders back, raise your head from the base of the skull, gaze gently forward. Inhale, Cobra. And exhale, roll down. Put the two blocks aside. Turn your head to the left. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, nothing under the hands now, so they're flat on the floor. Bow your head to the floor. Energize the legs. Keep the tailbone long. Set the shoulders up towards the ceiling. And inhale, lift from the base of your skull. Gaze slightly forward. And then press into your hands to lift into Cobra Pose. So the arms are going to be a little straighter because you don't have blocks under your hands. It's going to require a little bit more concentration to keep the back bend in the upper back. Glide the heart forward, not just up. And then exhale, roll down, and this time press up to table pose. And then reach back to child's pose, which we sometimes call pranam. When you come back to child's pose,
Release the weight of the head with the arms outstretched in front of you. So pranam means to make a forward offering from the heart, a humble forward offering. Like we say thank you to the path for already being here when we arrived on the planet. Thank you for lifetimes of people practicing. Thank you to Thich Nhat Hanh for being so established before we arrived. And walk your hands back to your knees. Rise up to kneeling. And come to Vajrasana. In 1966, Thich Nhat Hanh was exiled from his home country for speaking out against the war and doing that publicly and abroad from Vietnam as well. I was born in 1968, so I came here after his exile, but he was already a committed practitioner. And I discovered his teachings when I was 18, 19 years old. To those who come before us. And I would want us to give ourselves to this opportunity so fully, so generously. And might I even say that we aren't right now this directly in harm's way, where we don't have a war going on overhead. Our village has not been just like made into smithereens. So we may have our concerns about different aspects of life, of course, but we have more gentle circumstances than people in Vietnam in the 60s had for keeping their practices, for maintaining a practice. So let's keep that in our hearts, that here we are, to the best of our ability to be here without stealing the opportunity from ourselves. It's not to say that we don't all face some questions of survival on a daily basis. It comes up for us in different ways. I'd like you to take a blanket now, fold it in half from the storage fold, and please get 2 blankets to do the same. I got a couple wrinkles in mine because I use them in the morning for my practice, and then I didn't fold it neatly. And please do make them neat. So if you stack these two with the squared edges, like we did yesterday, you're going to keep those squared edges in your awareness, but then take the stack today and put it horizontally across your mat. And then lie down. So you're going to put the upper back over the blanket roll. The blanket stack, I guess I could say. Let me take out my hair tie. And then for some of you, what's going to happen here is that you'll be able to put your arms back to the floor in Cactus Pose, and your head will comfortably reach the floor. But for others, that's not going to be possible because of thoracic, cervical posture, genetics and such. So you take a block and put that under your head. And you really should choose what makes the heart feel the most open and nourished, but does not cause your mind to be concerned about your neck or your lower back, for example. So make the choice that's yours. If a block is too high and the floor is too low, then use a third blanket to go under your head. Stretch the left leg out straight. Take the right leg out straight. Reach your arms overhead. It's the back of your heels, the back of your calves, back of the hamstrings, the glutes. The lumbar spine probably doesn't have any contact right now.
Notice mid to upper thoracic spine, the back of your head. And if the back of the sides of the hands are touching the floor, and fold your wrists to cross them. Pick up your head. If there's something under your head, go ahead and take that out from under your head. And I'd like you to take your left hand, lift your head, and place the left hand on the upper back, kind of behind the heart. Hold your left elbow with your right hand and stretch backwards. Now you have the support of your right arm holding part of your head, and you have the left hand holding part of your head. And then roll up and switch the hands. Put the right hand in the upper back. So the right hand is palm face up. The fingers might be touching the back of the heart. Hold your right elbow with your left hand. This is a back bend of sorts. If you want to feel how those contralateral slings work, go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. And start rolling your knees to your left while you keep the upper body where it is. You're going to sense the right side waist. You may also sense the outer right hip, maybe even the right hip flexors or the iliacus inside the ilium bone. Let's bring the hips and knees to center, and we can try that for the other side too because we didn't. So go ahead and pick up. Place your left hand under the back of the heart. Hold your left tricep with your right hand, and then keeping the upper body stable, you can start dropping your knees down to the right. You may be able to feel even from like the left tricep, which is not one of the muscles in these slings. We don't refer to it that way. But then you've got your shoulder girdle, you've got the latissimus dorsi, which is on the left backside. The outer side waist includes your obliques, parts of your diaphragm, outer hip, maybe the back of the pelvis, maybe parts of the hamstring. And then roll back to center. Of course, you might have felt also the front of the thigh or the hip flexors. And one more back bend. And then roll sideways. And come up. Now we're going to take these same blankets and go lengthwise down the mat like we did yesterday. Put one block for each foot. So to make it easier on your lower back, so if that's not a consideration for you, you don't have to use the blocks. Please sit on the blanket to start. One moment. And then lie backwards. And lie back first so that you have the base of your skull at the edge of the blankets. Just give a little bit of traction to the neck. Watching out for your hair. You're an inch from your way. until the upper thoracic spine is right there at the top of the shoulder blades. And we're going to bring the blocks for the feet. So when you lie back like this, putting the blocks up for the feet is going to make it easier for some of you to tone the lower belly towards the back waist. So if you could put your attention on the back body once again, the sacrum, lumbar spine, lower thoracic, mid thoracic. The upper thoracic is not touching the blankets because you've got the last 2 or 3 vertebrae up there that haven't, they're not touching the blankets, and the cervical spine has no contact. The opening of the heart, the shoulders. And don't steal this moment from yourself. Stay present. Touch the feet down to the floor and roll to one side. You might straighten the arm on the side you're rolling to so there's a place for your head to then land on the upper arm. And then rise up. You're sitting, and let's get ready for Shavasana. So yesterday we had this nice way of putting the blankets, and I showed you how I use my weighted blanket also. So one thing you have as an option, since you've got the knees supported, you could also support your heels. So you've got a little inversion for the legs all the way. And if you want to support, you can use your weighted blanket for anybody who has one. Of course, we don't all have. Go ahead and lie back. And then eye pillow is a nice thing to do for yourself right now too. Sorry about the bright light coming in. It kind of washes out some of the visibility, but you're going to close your eyes. Let your mind rest in the here and now. Even if your dog is scratching at the door. I don't have a dog, so I'm just making up distractions. Even if there's distractions, you can rest in the here and now. Right here, right now. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Rest into the back body against the ground. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Moment. Let the body deeply rest. You'll notice maybe sensations of getting heavier and feeling the back of the body, feeling the ground more. So allow for that. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Deeply rest. Sense your body is taking care of you right now. Get a little heavier with relaxation. But while your mind becomes a little bit more alert, your fingers and your toes. And one knee at a time. To your side. Come up to sit. Just the amount of support that you need for your meditation. So not a too high seat. If you can be a little bit more grounded, go ahead and choose that. And sit upright with a sense of a gaze that's inward towards the heart. Okay. Imagine the back body, and that includes the back of the heart, where we receive the teachings, at least metaphorically, from those who were on this path before us. We are the continuation of the practice and the path. To rest just inside this imagination that we're doing, but you may have a felt sense of it. So resting in the heart. The teachings have come to you, and they're going to keep getting conveyed through your life. Camera just got overheated, which you don't, no worries. We can't see each other when we have our eyes closed anyway. I'd like us to keep sitting, and you can imagine me with you. Sit in the quiet presence that your practice prepared you for. Stay at home in the practice in your heart. Moment to moment simplicity. Allow the simmering to continue. Give yourself the fullness of the opportunity. In silence for one more minute. Your hands to your heart, acknowledging the practice that we have shared. Thank you everyone for being here and for accepting the responsibility of yoga to be conveyed through you. May we give respect and homage to our teachers, all those practitioners who've come before us and their teachers as well. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.